as of a couple days ago, Cam Newton was cut from the Carolina Panthers. We all saw it coming. I mean, either Cam Newton was going to get cut by the team or he was going to get traded away because Matt Rule came into this team. And as when a team is in the position that the Carolina Panthers were in, where they really fell off a lot and they need a full rebuild. And you can't have a 30-year-old quarterback and be rebuilding around him, especially when you bring in a new quarterback and a new head coach, and that like quarterback to head coach, like relationship is very important. And usually when you get a new head coach, you get a new quarterback. Now, we're not seeing this happen at Dallas, obviously, because Dallas is in a different scenario where they have a lot of talent and are ready to win now. And then Mike McCarthy comes in here. He's not getting a new quarterback. So Carolina Panthers are in a different situation because they're in a full rebuild mode. So we knew Cam Newton was not going to, well, he could have played next year, but we knew he was not going to live out his full contract. So we saw last year, the Carolina Panthers took Will Grier in the 3rd round. I thought this was a great pick. Honestly, I thought Will Grier could be an amazing backup and a possible starter in the future. Now, from what we've seen last season, his job was taken by Kyle Allen, who they traded to the Washington Redskins. That was not much of a surprise either. So Matt Rule came in here, and I thought Matt Rule was going to draft a quarterback. Nope, he took Teddy Bridgewater. Still a great signing. Took Teddy Bridgewater to take Cam Newton's role. Kyle Allen was traded. Will Grier is now their backup, I think. Or Will Grier is getting his job played also by someone from the XFL. I don't watch the XFL. I don't know this guy's name. But I heard that he was the first signing from the XFL that went from the XFL to the NFL. And a quarterback that's playing for Will Grier's job, which shouldn't be that hard. I mean, from what we saw from Will Grier last season, he didn't live up to his 3rd round draft pick, which is why he's still probably with the team, is because he was a 3rd round draft pick. So Matt Rule came into this team to really go full rebuild, and this is going to be a long rebuild. And the reason why I say this, I mean, yeah, their defense is so bad. They just need to fix a lot on defense. They have like no defensive players. They had Luke Kuechly, probably one of the best inside linebackers. He retired. And Greg Olsen, well, he's their tight end on offense. He's done. Oh, no, he's with the Seahawks now. So he didn't retire. He just left the team. And they're in the hardest division now. I mean, they're in a division. Teddy Bridgewater is in a division where he has to go against Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Matt Ryan. No way. No way are the Carolina Panthers going to do anything. They're going to be in like a 3-year rebuild. And I think they have a lot of promise. I mean, they have very early picks in this next 2020 draft where they can hit on a lot of defensive players, possibly get Jeffrey Okudah, Isaiah Simmons, Derek Brown in the 1st round. I don't know the players who are going to go in the rounds after that, but they can still get a lot of players. Now their receiving core is great. I mean, with Curtis Samuel, okay, I'm not even going to try to name the other guys. I'm going to DJ Moore and can't remember the other guy's name, but their receiving core is great. They just need tight ends. Their offensive line is pretty good too, and then they need everywhere on defense. So they're in a pretty good spot to rebuild. It shouldn't be a long rebuild, but it will be a long rebuild because of the division that they're in. Now they're in the NFC South, they always been. Because they're in the NFC South, it's going to be really tough for them to make it out. Now, going into what's going to happen with Cam Newton, that's what I'm trying to touch on. So we look at the teams that need a quarterback. So the teams that need a quarterback, Dolphins, same with the Carolina Panthers, full rebuild. Teams that are in a full rebuild, you do not take a 30-year-old quarterback. So Dolphins are out of the picture. Next, you have the Patriots. It's funny to say Patriots and need a quarterback. Yeah, Cam Newton's not Bill Belichick's type of guy. I mean, it could happen, but yeah, I don't see the Bill Belichick and Cam Newton situation like working out together. So Patriots are out of the picture in my eyes. It could still happen, and then Jaguars. Jaguars are also in a full rebuild mode, basically. Jaguars are better off drafting a quarterback. Well, they want to stick with Gardner Minshew for whatever reason. I think they should draft a quarterback, build around him, get players on defense. So yeah, Jaguars are also in a full rebuild. That's out of the picture. Now, for this last team, these are teams that Cam Newton would be starting in. Now, if he's not playing for one of these teams, I think he will be a backup somewhere. I think he's an amazing backup because he can make plays with his arms and legs. So the Chargers, this is the only place I think he would be starting in the 2020 season. Now things can change up as free agency goes on. The Chargers said that they're going to stick with Tyrod Taylor, which would be stupid. Why would you take Tyrod Taylor over Cam Newton? I think this is very possible that Cam Newton plays for the Chargers. The Chargers have so much help on offense and defense. What people don't realize is how great of a team the Chargers actually are. Outside of their offensive line, the team is amazing. I mean, the playmakers that he would have to work with, and Cam Newton's a very mobile quarterback. He actually made mobile quarterbacks become a huge thing because of what he's shown to the NFL. So great mobile quarterback, doesn't need as much offensive line help as other quarterbacks. So Chargers have $9 million in cap space. That's enough to give him they can give him a 1-year contract, fully guaranteed. And then after that, on offense, he's going to have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, and Austin Eckler. That's amazing. Why would the Chargers stick with Tyrod Taylor when you can get Cam Newton and you have a ready-to-win now team? And he knows the playbook. Well, not the Chargers playbook, but he knows he's been in the NFL for a long enough to understand, and they can go to a Super Bowl next year, really. I mean, with how much they've had. And then they added Mike Pouncey. Well, no, Mike Pouncey's back from injury, so their center back. They added Brian Bulaga and Try Turner, so their offense is a lot better, so a lot more offensive line help. That's what really held Phillip Rivers back last season. And Try Turner played with Cam Newton in Carolina, so that helps even a little bit more. And then you look at on defense. Oh, okay, I didn't put anything on defense, but they improved a lot on defense, and it's not like their defense really needed help already. I mean, their defense was amazing already. So the Chargers have a lot of talent, and they can win. I mean, they get Cam Newton in the first round. They have the 6th overall pick. They draft they're probably going to draft the first offensive tackle getting off the board, or even second. I mean, whatever. There's like 5 offensive tackles they can get, and in the 6th overall pick, they're going to take an offensive tackle, and they can win a Super Bowl next year just from that. I mean, I don't know why the Chargers would stick with Tyrod Taylor when they can get that. And then for this next one, this is in case the Chargers decide to stick with Tyrod Taylor or the Chargers take a quarterback first round. I don't like the decision on the Chargers taking a quarterback 6th overall. I just don't like that. I think taking Cam Newton would make more sense, because there's a thing where when you have a team this great that has this much talent and you take a rookie quarterback, it just doesn't work out. Like, these veteran receivers, veteran players that he's going to be playing with, they'll have more authority over the quarterback, and it just doesn't work like that. Now, this next team, I think this is where he would go if he doesn't go to the Chargers. This just made sense to me. A team no one is talking about that really needs a quarterback, but no one's talking about, and that's the Detroit Lions. He would be a backup. He's a really good backup, but you look at Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford has a lot of trade value. I mean, if Matthew Stafford went to a team like the Patriots or somewhere where like the head coach is really good, or talent, everything, where it's actually a good franchise, then I think Matthew Stafford would be great. So he has a lot of trade value, but being with the Detroit Lions, he's very injury prone. I mean, he's going to get injured again. He gets injured like every season, and not fault to him. I mean, he doesn't have great offensive line help and all that. I mean, Cam Newton's kind of injury prone too because of how old he is and how many times he's been hit. So he's also injury prone, but Matthew Stafford more than that. And then his backup is David Blau, and David Blau we saw last year, and David Blau was horrible. You don't want him to be your backup. If the Lions are trying to win games and Matthew Stafford goes down, you don't want David Blau being your quarterback. And then another thing Cam Newton brings to the Detroit Lions, a run game, because Kerryon Johnson is horrible. Kerryon Johnson has only played 2 seasons, so I can't grade him off of those 2 seasons, but from what I've seen from him, he's not that great. And you would want Cam Newton because he can run the ball more than Kerryon Johnson. So Matthew Stafford will obviously be your quarterback. I mean, he's greater than Cam Newton. However, if the season goes bad, you can trade Matthew Stafford, a lot of trade value, use Cam Newton for the next couple seasons, and Cam Newton can play in when Matthew Stafford gets injured, because he gets injured every season. Cam Newton plays the NFC, or was in the NFC South, so he has a lot of inside knowledge of the NFC South, especially with the team Carolina Panthers, but also the other teams. So if the Lions are trying to beat all those 4 teams, Cam Newton has inside knowledge, and that could really help. So those are all the reasons why I think he will end up with the Lions if he does not get taken by the Chargers, which I think the Chargers would be dumb not to take him. But I think he will end up with the Lions, if not, because the Lions have a lot of reasons why they would need him. So let me know what y'all think. What team am I missing? What team do you think he would end up on? Would he end up on the Patriots or one of those teams? Do you think anyone would be willing to take him? So let me know what y'all think, where he will end up, what will happen with him, why the teams would want to take him, what team will, and as always,